Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Twitter is the worst app ever. At the same time, it's the best app ever. Is it filled with negativity? Sure, 99%. But at the same time, if it wasn't for Twitter, I wouldn't be able to see the world for how it truly is. I would only see what the mainstream media shows us, and I would have missed the clips that I'm going to show you today. I've recently reread 1984, and its themes are still present on my mind, specifically doublespeak, the ministry of truth, the ministry of love, and the ministry of peace. Now, I know a lot of people have been going around saying, oh, our society is becoming too Orwellian. We're becoming like 1984. My friends, I'm sorry to announce that those people may just be correct. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Gaston the Ginger on Twitter. That's me. And if you're not already following me on there, then there's a very high chance you have a small dick. Before we begin with the dystopian shenanigans, I thought it would be prudent to start with a speech by His Majesty. An eloquent speech, a rejuvenating speech. Let's hear what he has to say.
Parenthetically, when you build a charging station, it's like back in the day when my grandpa worked for the American Oil Company back in the turn of in the 1920 in that area. They went from state to state convincing people that they allowed them to put 20,000 gallons of gasoline under the ground. They didn't want them around. But parenthetically,
if you understood what he said or what he was talking about, please comment it down below, because something about his grandpops and oil, who knows? But yes, my friends, let's begin with the ministry of love, because this may just have been the most disgusting tweet I've ever seen. It gave me goosebumps when I read it. And no, not because of the text you're seeing now, and not because of the clip I'm going to show you, but because of the last sentence. We need a data protection agency. In 1984, the Ministry of Truth was the agency in charge of truth? No, propaganda. The Ministry of Peace was in charge of what? Peace? No, war. And the Ministry of Love was in charge of love? No, it was in charge of you loving Big Brother. We need a data protection agency. You see how they make the words seem like they're protecting you. Yet, what is it? Well, let's hear. By the way, this is the new Facebook whistleblower who's coming out saying that she should have a job in the federal government over Facebook regulating them. She says there's not enough censorship.
I also believe there needs to be a dedicated oversight body, because right now the only people in the world who are trained to analyze these experiments, to understand what's happening inside of Facebook, are people who, grew up inside of Facebook or Pinterest or another social media company. And there needs to be a regulatory home where someone like me could do a tour of duty after working at a place like this and have a place to work on things like regulation to bring.
I mean, this lady's doing this whole thing to get herself a better job. She goes from project manager on Facebook to in charge of the regulation and oversight committee of the internet and social media.
That information out to the oversight boards that have the right to do oversight.
A regulatory agency within the federal government.
Yes.
A regulatory agency within the federal government. Senator Kristen Gillibrand. We need a dedicated regulatory agency to hold Facebook and other big tech companies accountable for how their algorithms push misinformation and how our data is used and misused for their profit. We need a data protection agency. But who are they protecting? Because definitely not people like me. In fact, people like me will get the axe. So that's what I saw. I said, wow, that's very Ministry of Love like, especially with how they word the agency. It's not the, censorship oversight committee. It's the data protection agency, here to protect your data. When in fact, we all know that is CNN fake news. Well, let's move on, fellas, to the Ministry of Truth. However, this is not the United States. This is abroad, New Zealand. Women president. Oh yeah, baby. That's how you know they're progressive and smart, because they have a women president. But she said, well, let's just play the video, because she thinks that you should only get your news, your specific type of news, from the government. Yeah, right.
The most up-to-date information daily. You can trust us as a source of that information. You can also trust the Director General of Health and the Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Health, what do they do there? Kill you? Woo. You heard how you said, you gotta trust us. No, you don't. You're the government.
For that information, do feel free to visit at any time to clarify any rumour you may hear. covid19.govt.nz. Otherwise, dismiss anything else. We will continue to be your single source of truth. We will provide information.
We are your single source of truth. Anything else is misinformation, said the dictator of the Soviet Union, North Korea, and China, and New Zealand. Oh, I think there was something else I wanted to show you guys. Oh, by the way, men are women. Check this out, boys. From Healthline. Can a man get pregnant? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth to children of their own. In fact, it's probably a lot more common than you might think. Yeah, because I thought it was impossible. In order to explain, we'll need to break down some common misconceptions about how we understand the term man. Oh, you see what they're doing there? Playing with words, word games again. The importance of words and the diversity of words is so important. Why call someone a birthing person when you can call her a mother? More efficient, more specific. Now, there's something that I thought was interesting, that we have our own little 1984 thing going on right now because we have our own Department of Defense. But what does the Department of Defense do? Well, like in 1984, the Ministry of Peace. It wages war in your protection, of course. No, they deter war. Okay. Finally, I want to show you the definition of doublethink. Simple definition. Of course, there are better ones, but let's go with this one. Doublethink is a process of indoctrination whereby the subject is expected to simultaneously accept two mutually contradictory beliefs as correct, often in contravention to one's own memories or sense of reality. This is beautiful. For example, how Kamala Harris used to say before she was elected VP, she would not take the thing because it was made under Trump. Now she's saying those who don't take it are crazy. Our nurses, they were the heroes last summer. Today, if they didn't get then they're unvaxxed. They're deplorable. I've been uninvited from a wedding because I didn't get because I got the natural immunity. Why would I get it, right? And my friend, a good friend of mine, he says, yeah, I totally agree with you. Vax passports are authoritarian and ludicrous, and no one's taking into account natural immunity. That's what he said to me. Yet, for his own wedding, I'm not allowed to go because they got a passport going on. Now, I understand the weddings are complicated. It's not just you, it's your wife, their family, your family. But I thought it was a good example of doublethink, a sad example of doublethink. But yeah, that's it. I wanted to make this video today because I saw those tweets and it completely blew my mind. Share this video if you thought it was a good one. I thought it was a good one. Like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Very valuable. I'll see you next time.